The one that jumps out at me the most is the ChickfilA Bowl, because all 4 years, my class has said, we missed that bowl by 1 year. We didn't get to go to the Gator Bowl the previous year. We came in 2008, and we heard all these great things about the bowl game and the bowl trip. We saw the bowl fleeces, which is something that I wanted for the whole time that I was in band, and then it just didn't happen. And our final year, we said, okay, this is the year. We've got to go to a bowl game. We have to. And I'll never forget when we became bowl eligible at Maryland. It was an away game at Maryland, and that was fantastic. We knew we were going somewhere. Didn't matter if we were going to DC or to North Carolina, or we thought maybe we're going to Nashville, but we were going somewhere. And then the night of Mr. Pease's holiday dinner, that was when they would release it was bowl selection night. And we kept hearing these rumors about the ChickfilA Bowl. And no, it's probably not going to happen. No, it's probably not going to happen. We're pretty much set on the Music City Bowl, which was going to be a blast, and we were really excited about it. And then I just remember sitting in my house with all of my housemates who are also in the Cavalier marching band, and watching the TV, and then it popped up and said UVA to the ChickfilA Bowl, and we went nuts. We were going somewhere, and we weren't just going anywhere, but we were going to this huge bowl game. And then that whole trip was just wonderful. So that's definitely one of my absolute favorite Cavalier marching band experiences. My favorite part of that trip was when we did our pregame show in the Georgia Dome, and doing that with thousands of people. We were on national TV. Was incredible. It was the best pregame show we've ever done, in my opinion. And then finishing up the pregame show, the band was playing the Hey song and marching towards an end zone, and that end zone was the UVA end zone. So all of the UVA fans right behind us, and that was so cool to just have that, sense of pride in our school, and just have all that support behind us was very, very neat. The other favorite part of that trip was actually getting to interact with Auburn's band, which was just really, really awesome. The head drum major and I had been communicating over the past month or so up to the bowl game, and trying to put together a band Olympics for the two bands, and getting to interact with him and kind of seeing the differences in our bands, but also some of the similarities, was very neat. Skit nights are always great and hilarious. I love to see who gets made fun of the most, and what joke is just killed the most. Let's see. I also love the final rehearsal at band camps, when Mr. Pease recognizes each support staff and each, the section leaders, the drill instructors, volunteers, because I think it's just so important to recognize those people whose hard work often goes without recognition. And so that's kind of one of my favorite parts of band camp. And then I also love check-in. I love it when we scream and yell for all the first years, and some of them are like, this is awesome, and others of them, the looks on their faces seem to say, what am I getting myself into? Who are all these crazy people? So screaming and yelling and welcoming them in is really, really fun. The Journey show will always be one of my absolute all-time favorite shows, because I remember that was the first time we got a standing ovation from the student section, and we were winning against Maryland, and it was my first night game, and it was so cool, and the music was really fun. One of my other favorite shows was in my 4th year, the superhero show, and my favorite song in that was Robin Hood. It's just this beautiful, beautiful arrangement, and it was so powerful. I remember when we were playing it for the first time in the band building, it was just blew me away. It was so powerful. And then also one of my other favorites was Long Train Runnin', and the Virginia Spell Out, even though that was such a pain to put together and so exhausting to high step for however many counts it was. But looking back at it and how it came together and the crowd's reaction, oh my gosh, it was so neat to see. And I felt like it was really cool because the drum majors also were in it, so we weren't just kind of yelling at the band to hurry up. We were right there with them. We were kind of suffering through all that high stepping together, which was really neat to be a part of that, because as we don't get to march a lot as drum majors, which sometimes I am very thankful for, but at that point I think that is definitely my favorite drill set. I have a couple. A lot of them coming from that final season, that 2011 season, because it was just so out of the blue and crazy and magical, and we probably shouldn't have won as many games as we did. One of my absolute favorite football memories was actually an away game at Florida State, which I was at a retreat with some of the brothers of ChickfilA, and we had huddled around this tiny little computer screen. We were watching this game, which we weren't supposed to win, and watching us win it like 3 times because of different penalties and different things like that, and then singing the good old song together, and just we were screaming and crying, and we were so incredibly excited and happy, because at that point, if we had beaten Virginia Tech, then we could have gone to the ACC championship, and that was just kind of something that was totally unfathomable. So that was a great memory. And then as far as home games go, when that same year when we beat Georgia Tech was undefeated coming into that game, and it was homecomings, and they just, I don't know what happened. They fell apart, or we kind of defeated their triple option, and we ended up winning big. I think we won by at least maybe 7 points. And then of course people rushed the field, and it was awesome. I think one of the football players came up and conducted the band in the stands, and that whole celebration was very cool. One thing that's changed is the size. I mean, the stand is growing a lot, and which is wonderful, but also it does have some downsides to it as well, and that most of those being auditions and having to cut people, which is always hard. Also, the addition of the Hunter Smith band building has, I think, made the band better, because we and they now have a home base that, it's a rainy practice, but we can still actually get something done. And so I think that's helped out the band musically a lot. Just because there is that chance and that opportunity to work on music really well, and in a space where you can still hear, and are able to actually get things done. Whereas before it was very challenging, trying to find a place to rehearse. As far as game day procedures go, pregame has changed a little bit, but that's what I've noticed, and I've noticed that the band doesn't come out on the field anymore after postgame, so no more postgame arcs, which I'm a little bit sad about, because that, as a band member, that was always so fun. And I think that the sense of community of the band, I think, has grown, which has been really a cool thing to see. at least in my last year, I felt like the band was more of a community, and there was not as many cliques within the band, which was really, really neat to see. There was one more about band camp that I don't even know why I forgot about it, but it just kind of came back to me. It was my final year during band camp, and it was the year that the band building had opened. And we went, I think our first rehearsal was in that band building. I remember us scrambling around, trying to get everybody an orange shirt. For some reason, everybody had to wear their orange shirts. And then I just heard this little rumor, a little buzz coming around, oh, but maybe Hunter Smith is going to be there. Maybe Hunter Smith is going to come in. And so we're there, and, playing and all this stuff. And then she walks in, and they all just stand and give her a standing ovation. And I get emotional just thinking about it, because it was such an amazing and special moment. And for her to see just what her generosity has brought. And I will say thank you to her until I'm blue in the face. But that memory and being able to sing the Good Old Song with her in that beautiful building with the band for the first time is one of those things I will never, ever forget. And I feel so lucky to have been a part of that.